Nick is my best friend. We've been inseparable since high school.
Sure have.
So inseparable, in fact, that at one point in senior year, we lost individual identities and became known only as Nick Square. It was always a big joke between us and those clowns that one day we would walk down the aisle together. In your face. That said, I owe it to Nick to deliver a good speech. So I'll admit, I turned to the internet for a little help. I did some research. I gotta tell you, I found some pretty good stuff on there. They were all really funny, and of course, the shorter ones were my favorite. But after a few hours, I figured videos of midget strippers just wasn't helping writing their speech. So I decided I would just speak from the heart. I did find this though, and this is 100% true. You can look this up. Today, December 14th, is the day George Washington, our founding father, passed away. It's 100% true. You can look that up. Today marks the death of two bastions of freedom. One, the man who signed his life over to a medical professional who would bleed him dry. And I forgot how George Washington died. I'm kidding. I kid. Christine approved that joke. I ran that by her. I kid, of course. Christine is an amazing woman. She looks absolutely beautiful tonight. Let's give her a big round. I think I speak for all of us when I say that we're jealous for the deep love that these two share for each other. I remember when Nick first met Christine, he said to me, "Nick, I met an amazing girl. I'm going to ask her out. And for the first date, I'm going to take her to the best restaurant I can afford. I'm going to really class it up for her." I was happy for him. I couldn't wait to hear all about it. So he called me a few days later. He said, "Nick, I did it. I asked her out. She said yes. I went to the best restaurant I could afford. I kept it as classy as I could." And the way he described that date, I knew Nick and Christine would be forever. He talked about how they had so much in common, how he was enraptured by the conversation, and how he got so lost in her eyes, he didn't even finish his Big Mac. I'm confident that these two will never have a dull moment being married to each other. My friendship with Nick has led to a lot of firsts in my life. Little known fact, Nick is solely responsible for me getting my first job. One day while walking around, Nick ever so graciously filled out an application for me without me even knowing it. Wait for it. To Toys R Us. I didn't pay any mind to it at first. Anyone who knows Nick knows let it go. But then I got a call asking me to come in for an interview. I had no job. No one would hire me. I went to the interview. I also credit Nick for my ability to think on my feet. Some of the questions I had to answer. So, tell me how being a professional pony ride operator will help me this job. My favorite. You were so brave to have conquered hepatitis. I got the job. The first time I was ever chased out of somewhere by a mob was with Nick Nomi. I was dressed as Moses for a school project. Nick's already laughing, he knows the story. Nick was the cameraman, always the instigator. I wore a white sheet from Nick's house as a robe. I put a band around my head. I had a massive beard, the works. I was assured by Nick this was a good idea. We walked around Capitola Village, filming our video, until large groups of people started staring at us in scorn and disdain. We then went to the beach, where diners at the beachfront restaurants jeered and swore and threw utensils at us. Confused, we ran back to the car. We looked at each other and it hit us at the same time. It was September 11th. 2 years after the attacks. And I was running around Santa Cruz dressed as Osama bin Laden. Yeah. Nick and I have been involved in some of the craziest scenarios and stories you can imagine. Unfortunately, 98% of those stories are not in any way appropriate for this venue. I will, however, be drinking most of the night and will freely share just to get to know these finer moments. Yeah. The scenarios for which I speak come from a unique bond we share. We go with the flow. We see where the night takes us. And we'll sacrifice anything and anyone for a good story. I could not, in all good faith, let Nick marry someone who couldn't replace that essential part of our friendship. Christine has our humor in droves. She passed my checklist, and I could not be happier to see my best friend marry someone so perfect for him. So, thank you to the Tagorda family for raising such a wonderful daughter. Thank you to the Nomi family for doing the best you could with this guy. He's Christine's problem now. And to that, let's raise our glasses.